Welcome back to another reaction, this time for the final episode of Oshi no Ko Season 3, Episode 11. And the rumors were true, it is a double episode. This is going to be a very long one, so let's see.
一緒にいれば嫌でも見えてくるところはある。中身の精神年齢は10代前半。
Okay.
知識のほとんどはネットで仕入れたものばかりで、実体験は乏しい。普段はバカみたいに明るいが、時折全てを諦めたような顔をする。恵まれているとは言えない人生だったのかもしれない。
I'm assuming this is his viewpoint from early on, not now. Because we did have the one scene.
だが、
アクア、ルビー、ご飯できたよ。はーい。
こいつも俺も生まれ変わった以上、今が幸せならどうでもいい話だ。
Okay. Music bad, YouTube no like, you know, the drill. I guess we don't continue, but we did have that one scene where he was looking at her, she was sleeping or half asleep, and he was calling her previous name because he got reminded of her, and she reacted to that. Now, did he take that in? Is he remembering that? I believe we don't really know at this point.
ここのカレー
So we will see.
がめっちゃいいんですよ。見てください、これ骨髄ストローになるんです。このままラッシー吸えちゃいますよ。
ほんと美味しい。
2軒目
So I did not really acknowledge that last time. But this is the advertisement, right? Something like that. However, she has the same last name as Ruby's previous life, Sayonji, I believe it was. Which, I mean, the assumption is that she is the mom of previous Ruby's life, which makes this whole thing very difficult. I did have a little bit of a conversation with a friend, and he was like, oh, what if Ruby ever meets her? And my counter was that Ruby, you know, she's still young. These situations are always, people give themselves the fault, especially if you are a young child. You see, maybe you did something wrong because you don't know. But what if Aqua meets her? Because I feel like Aqua would have a different reaction, especially as a previous doctor. He already was really pissed whenever the parents would not visit because he didn't know why you would not visit your child that goes through such a hard
ど
time.
うします？みんな飲むつもりで来て
Under the assumption that this is the mom because the same last name. And it would make sense why they introduced her in that way.
ますけど。
この辺りで静かに飲めるところか。パテルとか？
いいですね。あそこのバー、友達がやってるんで LINE しておきますね。
ちょっとごめん。おう、どうした？おう、どうした？
I mean, oh, so is it normal you apologize for taking a call?
おう、どうした？
I mean, it is a very nice gesture.
今どこ？今日締めの確認要項全然やってなくない？
ああ、代理店の人とちょっと飲み行っててな。
代理店？それって友達と称するモデルとか役者の女とかが何人かいて隠れ家系のバーで飲んだりするやつだろ。
I mean, no? Question mark? You can't hide anything from him. When Aqua gets going, he gets going. You can't hide stuff.
まあ向こうとしても人脈が大事な商売なわけで
Sure.
こちらもいい役者は常に求めてるわけで
別にいいけどさ、そういう場は結局したたかな奴らの集まりなんだから飲まれるなよ。
当然だろ。俺が当然だろ。俺がこの業界で何年やってると思ってるんだ。仕事ってのはどうしたって義理人情で動く部分がある。酒が入ることで初めて見えるものもある。
Is that so? I don't know. There is a saying that whenever people are drunk, you see the real them, which in some cases, sure, in some cases, I don't know.
ある。この仕事はコミュニケーションの世界。そして俺はこの世界のプロだ。プロはいかなる時も酒に飲む。
I feel like we see him totally drunk in the next shot.
生まれたりしないもん。
I mean, come on. He is not. He was too cool in that scene. He was like, "Oh, yeah, I have everything under control. I'm the man."
俺の携帯はどこ行っちゃった。
五反田監督のスマホはここですよ。
てかここ。
You know, I did not assume this would be going on so quick.
アクア君、あれ持って帰れる？
はい、あれは僕が持ってか。
I mean, yeah. Why? Oh, I assume it's for like a taxi.
はい、あれは僕が持って帰ります。
ああ、君。
And right, he, I believe, is working at at his place because he has all the equipment for the editing job.
星野アクア君聞いてますよ。監督の一番弟子なんですよね。
いえ、こんな人知りません。
まあ雨降ってるし入って。
No.
すぐタクシー呼ぶから。お腹減ってない？ここのナポリタンめっちゃ美味しくてさ、それだけでも食べていきなよ。
いえ、結構です。
すぐ若い子に絡む。
やめなよ、天童寺さん。
Tendoji, not Sayonji. What was Sayonji? I don't know. I'm bad with names.
そんな人聞きの悪い。
天童寺、マリナス。
I was also, you know, if there's no names being dropped, there would probably be nothing happening. Now, I don't know. Because I could see, if I was a doctor, as an example, which I'm not smart enough, and I had a child I get involved with, you know, it's hard to be unaffected by a child going through stuff like, I believe it was cancer, I don't really remember, but she had some terminal illness, and her going through that and the parents not being there ever, I would be so mad at the parents. So we will see how Aqua is going to handle this. I don't believe it's going to be pretty.
はい。私、自己紹介してましたっけ？はい、炭酸水。お酒が飲める年になったらそこで飲み行きましょう。って言っても。
I mean, he's not doing anything, so I guess I was partially wrong.
こんなおばさんとは嫌か。大丈夫。その時は可愛い友達連れてくるから。
Why is it so touchy-feely? I guess it's part of the job.
お酒好きなんですね。
まあ飲むのも仕事みたいなところあるから。
大丈夫なんですか？ご家族とか心配しませんか？
私はもう50
So it feels like he is trying to fish for information. I don't know if he believes. I mean, he asked for the full name. She said it's her full name. Having the same last name as someone else you know, okay, can happen. Looking very similar, maybe. But having the full first and last name and looking similar, I feel like he's pretty much on to her. Now, I don't know what information he's fishing for. But he did want to leave really fast, which I don't know if that is still on the
10
table.
も半ばよ。ずーっとこういう感じでやってきてるから誰も心配なんてしないわよ。
Again, I would totally understand if he blows a casket here and goes to ham. Because I would also be very affected by this. It is even hard for me to really put myself in his shoes, but I would not be able to stay cool.
してる人もいるでしょ
そうね。私は既婚者なんだけど、ほら見て、私の家族。
ああ、こんなことがあるのか。こんな親がいるのか。
If we go by Takopi's original sin, I mean it's anime. Anime shows us that 90% of parents suck ass, and you have like 10% of good ones.
サリナちゃん、君は違う。
That is insane. I mean, granted, we don't know if they just forgot about her, pushed her out of their life. But it doesn't seem like they were that affected. Not even talking about the drinking. The drinking, I feel like, is fine. It's probably part of her job and stuff. But husband, wife, a dog, 2 children, seemingly. And they didn't have the time. This is all because they did not... They did not take the time to just visit her terminally ill daughter. I mean, for me, not understandable. For him, also not understandable.
僕に生きていたんだね。
子供なんてね、健康でいてくれればなん
Again, I would not be able to stay cool.
でもいいのよ。
お母さん。お母さんが私を。また同じところでつま
Now, granted, Aqua didn't see this. We saw this.
ってる。ここの感情はね、子供から逃げた母親の気
Oh, this is
持ちを理解
this is happening now. Okay. And this is the story about I and her relationship with her mom, because that her mom also abandoned her. That is why she was in the orphanage and never really grew up with love, which is interesting because Sarina had more or less the same happening to her, that she did not really grow up with getting taught love. The only person she had in her life, was the doctor. That is why she has this tight relationship with her doctor, which again, not really understandable for me that the parents never visited. This one, I mean, also not understandable, especially because the mom told I that she would come back and she did not. Parents. If you are not ready to be a parent, don't be a parent. Easy.
親の気持ちを理解するシーンなの。自分を異物と認め、母親から愛されていないと認め。
How about you don't admit that you are abnormal? I mean, okay. Not knowing what love is. How about we don't? We can just blame the parents. Easier.
母を解放するとともに、自分を解放するきっかけになるところなの。そんな切羽詰まった顔してたら、話の展開が。それって変じゃん。
It is a neat parallel. Her mom, Arena, and her parents.
母親から愛されてないと認めるって多分違うよ。きっとどこかですれ違っただけでしょ。
Yeah, sure. Gaslight yourself.
私にはこれちっともわからないんだ。だってそうでしょ。心の奥底では絶対親は子供を愛するものなんだから。
I wish that was true. Wasn't there another show? Let me remember. Which one was it? Freerun, where the demon was saying, "Oh yeah, humans always care for their young ones," which our group countered with, "If that was really true, the world would be a better place." And this is again showcased here that there are parents that do not deserve to be parents. We also have the good example of Takupi's Original Sin. There are just people that should not have children, period. We have a similar situation going on with Journalist Witch was the name, I believe. Where it's also like questionable, not necessarily the mom, but the dad should not have been a dad at all. So, and the problem is the one that is going to have to live with that is a child that didn't do anything. They didn't ask for this. So, if you're not ready to be a parent, just don't.
茨城18時合同ライブ野外ステージ出演21時移動23時帰宅8時半登校10時半早退
School for 2 hours, okay.
11時半深掘れワンチャンの打ち合わせ12時リポート収録、15時移動食事インタビュー添
Pretty tight schedule.
削と期末試験に向けての勉強16時深夜帯バラエティ番組の収録3本撮り21時半新曲振り入れ並行して YouTube 企画会議23
I hope you go to sleep at like 12?
時演技個人レッスン
Latest?
深夜3時
What the fuck? 3 a.m. 8:30 you are supposed to be in school. That means you have to get up by at least 8 probably to make it to school. So you get 5 hours of sleep. That is not a lot.
就寝
What is going on?
これくらいなんでもない顔して。
Yeah, but comparison, thief of joy kind of stuff, just people are different. Everyone is different.
こなしてた。
And she did break a sweat. I mean, she was not even able to remember her children's names.
頑張らないと。大丈夫。私にもできるはずなんだ。
I mean, this is a surefire way to break down real quick.
撮影まで時間もない。
Also, I guess nothing happened again. In Aqua's shoes, I would have not reacted the same. So props to him for being able to not punch someone.
ルビーさんにはみっちり芝居のレッスンさせてほしいんですよね。
ルビーは頑張ってます。すでにスケジュールが詰まってる中で寝る間も惜しんで、昨日だって。
仕事量の調整をしてください。撮影期間と稽古期間は特に。15年の嘘は演技力が問われる作品です。演技未経験のルビーさんに言うのは酷な話かもしれませんが、彼女は僕の目から見ても実力が足りてない。
京アマドラマみたいなの作っておいてよくもまあ。
I mean, sure, but he also produced other stuff. It's a little bit nitpicky to only go for the one show that did not do well.
でもご指摘はもっとも。ルビーにあの中で主役を張れる実力はない。さあ、本あげろ。いざ
What in the Marine?
未開の大地へ。
So an ad. For game?
させない。
Oh, she comes flying in, okay.
させない。あの大秘宝を手にするのはこの世にただ一人だけ。許さない。絶対にこの私がやってみな。熱い熱い。
そんな暑い夏には。
Fuck's sake. For a moment, I was like, is this another little acting thing going on? No, it's... Make Sweat walk the plank. What is this?
さらっと汗拭き。サラスペクタルシート。
Soap scented. What the okay. Sure. Sure.
カット OK です。オライオライ。いやー、スポンサーのお偉いさんの娘がトームの大ファンだったからオファーしたんだけど、すっごい良かった。
かわいい。
Really? I offered you the ad because the big sponsor has a Tokyo Blade fan. Not because they are good actors? I mean, it does reinforce the whole connection thing. Important.
わ、息ぴったり。やっぱ不仲説嘘
Yeah, sure.
なん？
あはは、嘘に決まってるじゃないですか。ライバル？こいつが？冗談じゃない力不足。はあ？かなちゃんだってノリノリだったのに。かなちゃんって言うな。
What do you mean? Akane is clearly better than you in acting. She has more jobs. She has more name recognition. She's just the better actor. Even if on the stage you would go blow to blow. So, you know, I guess this is what they talk about. It's about on stage performance.
それでどうだった？なんかの参考になった？やっぱり二人ともすごいね。実力不足を思い知っちゃうな。どうしたらそんな風にできるの？自分自
I mean, this is going to be interesting because Akane has a different approach a different approach than Kana has. So, are they going to be able to vocalize that or not?
身を理解すること。自分の中にあるものが何か正しく理解することかしら。私の中のもの。例えば自分はこれが好きだけどあれは嫌いってこととかかな。そういう感情を膨らませたり抑えたりするんだよ。ええ、そうすれば自分の中に新たなルールと感情のラインが生まれる。
What? Okay, it seems like they are similar, which I had not imagined. And you either exaggerate or play them down as needed, which
そうすれば
forms new rules and association within your emotions. Can you do that?
自分の中に
So you are more or less, what was it called? Conditioning yourself?
新たなルールと感情のラインが生まれる。それが役作り。今あんたが詰まってることよ。まあ私は自分ってよりは役自体に寄り添う感じだけど。分かってるわよ。あんたは完全憑依型でしょ。
Well, they are different.
自分自身を理解する。
You do know you need to sleep. You can do this whole know myself if you are going from situation to situation, but not while sleeping.
こと。私ってどういう人間？ルビーとしての私。天道寺サリナとしての私。私って。
Do you never think about meeting your mom? Well, my mother hates me, so I probably shouldn't. That's what's better for her too. You don't need to take... Just don't care about your parents, in this case. You don't need to be respectful to your parents there.
さんは私のことを愛してない。違うよ。だって。お母さん、来てくれたんですね。いつまで。
This how this is framed is not going to be good, is it?
こっちにいるんですか？おばあちゃんの家に行ったらすぐ東京に戻らないといけなくて。
そっか、お仕事忙しいですもんね。
ごめんね。お医者さんと話をしてこないと。
そうなんだ。ねえ、お母さん。お母さんは。
I hope this is just a dream kind of thing.
私のこと愛してる。だってあの言葉が嘘なはずないでしょ。
愛してる。
I mean, at least she said something that you should say. Did she mean it? I guess not. But still.
辛い時、私は何度もここに立った。
Hmm. Okay. So she visited her home address, or how, you know, previous home a couple times. Interesting. But she was unwilling, or is unwilling to accept that she never was loved, which we don't know at this point. They didn't act in a way that seemed like they would love her, so we will see.
私の家は私の覚えてる住所にちゃんとあって、チャイムを押せばきっとお母さんが出てくる。チャイムを押して何度も言おうとした。お母さん、私だよ。
Yeah, this would not work, would it?
でも昔々あるところに
You don't make a good case for not being punched, though. I'm just saying.
ごく普通の親子がいました。母親は娘に愛情を注いでいましたが、娘は4歳の頃に重い病気が見つかってしまいました。娘が10年生きられる可能性は1割にも満たないと知った母親は、しばらくは娘に寄り添いましたが、次第に心が壊れていってしまいました。父親は娘と母親を引き離し、母親の心の回復に努めました。
I cannot empathize with any of the people here. I never was in that situation. I was never in a situation that is similar. I cannot imagine what anyone here goes through. However, because Ruby and Serena are our main characters, I'm going to side with them. I can understand this could mentally hurt a parent. Totally understandable. Now, there is a dad. What did he do? A little bit questionable that he was not or is not part of the equation at all, because they could have switched. Mom is there for like a month, and the dad goes and is there, then the mom is back. You know, they could have done something like this, but the dad was seemingly not there, only the mom, and that is very questionable. Even if the dad is, maybe the dad is mentally stronger, he could have spent a lot more time with Serena, which he didn't do. So him, of all the three characters we get presented, I feel like he is the worst of them. Now this could just be what they showcased. Additionally, she still decided to have more children. So it was not that mentally breaking, I guess.
その一家は地元の名家の生まれだったので、地元で一番立派な病院に娘を預けました。両親は悲しみをごまかすように仕事に没頭し、現実から目をそらすようになりました。そしていずれ娘からも目をそらすようになりました。お母さんはスケートの選手だったの。だから退院したら私にスケートを教えてくれるんだって。私も。
Looks a little bit like Kana.
オリンピックとか出てさ、お母さんに喜んでほしいんだ。娘の容体は悪くなる一方でした。慢性的な頭痛や吐き気、 バランス感覚を失い、歩くこともままならず、記憶や認識にも影響が出ていました。苦しい日々を支えたのは一人の少女でした。娘は彼女に焦がれるほどに憧れます。症状が末期に近づくにつれて、母親はついに姿を見せなくなりました。
This is the most important part. You have to be there? This is just not acceptable. Again, the dad, not even part of the story, somehow, which is insane. And again, this is the most important part, the most important time. It's the same as if you have a pet and for some reason you need to say goodbye, you need to euthanize your pet because maybe it has something that is not fixable. It is just the best way to do it instead of having the pet, be under a lot of hurting a lot and whatnot. You, in my opinion, should be there when it happens. You should be there so the last thing they see is essentially you. So at least this part is, in my opinion, unacceptable. The previous things you could be like, maybe texting, still not what I would find acceptable. Especially again, the dad is somehow not part of this. Because this is this is the last time. And they did have more children. They seem to be happy now. Maybe, we don't know. Maybe they have, similar to Aqua and Ruby, who have a picture of I. Maybe they have a picture of Sarina. Maybe they see it every day. Maybe they do remember her. They should have been here whenever this came down to this degree.
苦しむ娘の姿を見るのが嫌だったのでしょう。それでも少女はけなげに母が訪れるのを待ち続けました。母は自分を愛していると信じ続け、待ち続けました。
This is more or less, it feels like she transferred her love for her mom just to the doctor?
なんだ、先生か。
悪かったな、俺だよ。B 小町。
Because he is doing what the parents should be doing. He's spending the last couple days she has by her side.
だっけ？新曲出たのか？
青年は時折見舞い客が長らくいない患者の病室を回り、話し相手になっていました。娘にとってそれがどれだけの救いだったかは計り知れません。彼女は2つの光を手にしました。まあ彼女はその光をどちらも失うことになるんだけどね。
It is insane how good of a doctor he was before.
娘はその短い生涯を狭い部屋の中で生き、苦しみに耐え、願いは叶わず、それでも毎日毎日母を待ち続けました。愛されていると信じて。けれど週末の日、その今和の際になっても母親は彼女のもとに現れなかった。東京の自宅でその訃報を静かに聞いた母親は一体何を思っていたのでしょう。娘から逃げ続けた母親は彼女にとって一体何だったのでしょう。 母親は彼女が亡くなってすぐに新たに娘と息子を産みました。今は幸せに暮らしています。めでたしめでたし。
What the fuck are you saying?
初めて見たな。
You probably have, but you don't remember.
初めて見たな。お母さんってあんな風に笑うんだ。分かってた。どこかできっと分かってた。お母さん愛してほしかった。だけどお母さんは私を愛してはいなかった。だから私はママに代わりを願った。そんな汚い願いを押し付けた。私って何なの？私に関わった人みんな不幸になる。私は不幸しか運ばない。お母さんもママも先生も神様、なんで私なんかを生まれ変わらせたの？先生は渋谷とか原宿に行ったことある？
まあな、一応大学はあっちだったし。
ところなんでしょ。人がいっぱいいて、スカウトみたいな人とかもいて、愛も渋谷でスカウトされたって言ってた。
サリナちゃんが元気になったら案内してやるよ。
ほんと？
サリナちゃんは可愛いから、そりゃスカウトも寄ってくるだろうよ。でも地下アイドルとか変なスカウトからは俺が守るからな。
地下でもやれるならやりたいよ。愛みたいにかっこいい衣装着て可愛い歌歌ってみんなにコールもらったりしてさ、大きなステージに立ってみんなに喜んでもらって夢だな。
ダメダメ、芸能界は怖いところなんだから、大人が守ってくれるちゃんとした事務所じゃねえと俺は認めない。
もう過保護すぎ。
ゆっくり息を吸え。一旦横になるぞ。立てるか？
どこ？結構しなきゃ。
それどころじゃないだろ。おい、捕まれって。
バカな手なんて借りない。そうだよ、私がアイドルをやる理由、もっともっと上り詰めてママと先生を殺したやつを見つけ出すためだ。ママと先生の仇を取るためだ。一生かけても見つけ出して生まれてきたことを後悔させてやるんだ。
やめろ。復讐にとらわれて生きるなんて自分自身を不幸にするだけだ。そんなことお前がする必要はない。頼む。お前は復讐なんて考えないで生きろ。
私に指図しないで。今さらお兄ちゃん面はやめてよ。私はアクアのこと本当の家族だなんて思ってないから。私たちなんてたまたま同じところに生まれ変わっただけの他人でしょ。
分かった。その認識で構わない。今さら血を分けた兄弟なんて言うつもりもない。どの口でって自分でも思う。都合のいいことを言ってる自覚はあるけど、これは星のアクアとしての頼みじゃない。俺の頼みを聞いてくれ。サリナちゃん、君はそんな理由でアイドルになりたかったわけじゃないだろ。あの病室から抜け出してやっと自由に生きられているんじゃないか。愛みたいにかっこいい衣装着て可愛い歌歌ってみんなにコールもらったり、大きなステージに立ってみんなに喜んでもらってさ、そんな夢を叶えるためにアイドルやってんだろ。これまでもしかしたらという思いが何度も頭をよぎった。ルビーの中にサリナちゃんの面影を見るたび自分を咎めた。そんな都合のいい妄想をしている自分が許せなくて、サリナちゃんに何一つできなかった俺に そんな救いがあるはずないって。でもこれまで俺は君だと思って接してたよ。復讐なんてやめてくれ。頼むよルビー。
なんで泣いてるの？なんでさっき私をサリナって呼んだの？病院の話なんで知ってるの？もしかしてそうなの？あなた先生なの？
これ探してたんだよ。君が持っててくれたんだね、
サリナちゃん。
いや、今まで確信が持てずにいたから。ごめん、辛い思いさせたな。
赤のこと信じてたのに、ママのこと売るような真似してさ。この世に信じられる人一人もいないって思って。
忘れてなんかいない。愛のことを世間に話したのも、今回の映画を監督に焚きつけたのも、全ては愛の復讐を果たすためだ。
私、ママと先生の無念を晴らさなきゃって、ひどいことをたくさんした。たくさん嘘をついた。その度に胸がズキズキして、どんどん胃が重くなってくみたいな感じがして、嘘を重ねるたびに自分がなりたかった方向と違う方向に進んでる気がして。
ルビー、お前にそういうの向いてないよ。
でも、だってママはアイドルは嘘で。
Man. At least it looks like we are getting to a more positive note. I don't really know what I could say to that. It was a very emotional scene where finally finding out that he's her sensei. Now she doesn't have to take revenge for both of them, I and sensei, only I. And now she has at her side the only person that really mattered in her past life. The whole sequence was just so sad for her to feel alone, the whole thing at the end where she was like, whenever she told lies, it just goes against her nature to be that, to lie, to do whatever she can to get close to her goals. That is not what she is all about. That is the whole point at the beginning of the whole show. She is the one with the nice bright stars, while Aqua is the one with the dark stars. And it just is not who Ruby was. And the scene, again, the whole sequence, it was just fantastically done.
愛とお前は違う人間だ。もう愛の幻影を追うな。お前はお前の人生を生きろ。嘘なんてつかなくてもいい。
私本当はね、辛かった。ママみたいに上手に嘘ついて、でもいつもニコニコしてなきゃって思って、ママみたいにならなきゃって。アイドル全然楽しいことばかりじゃなくて、ママのこと忘れられたら楽なのにとかいつも考えちゃって、母を見ると時々ママを殺した人の顔がよぎって、嫌なことたくさん考えちゃって、本当は汚いことばっか考えてて、でも愛されたくて全部隠して。心は病室で世の中を憎んでた頃の私のママだった。そんなんでもいいの？そんな私でもいいの？
言っただろう、俺は君を押すって。俺が押すと言ったのは、病室の中で苦しみにもがきながらも目をキラキラさせながらまっすぐに夢を見ていた君のことだ。あの時の君は愛よりずっと眩しかった。
よかったね。これでルビーは立ち直って、君の計画通り映画は作られるだろうさ。これを機に彼女は瞬かく羽ばたくかもしれない。だとしたらそれは私にとっても望ましいことだ。でも君は本当にこれでよかったのかい？君からしたら嫌われてた方が楽だったはずなのに。
I'm back. I had to blow my nose. One thing about being sad and crying is just a running nose. I really hate that. So we finally, again, got Ruby to be the positive of the two siblings. Now, she made it sound like as if it was somewhat calculated by Aqua, which I don't believe this case is. But also that this is going to... It would have been easier if she would have continued hating him. But would it? I feel like Ruby was on a, self-destruction course. If Aqua left her alone, I feel like she could have gone Akane's route. So I don't know about that. But now we have these two together again, trying to avenge Ai. Aqua can do the dark side. Ruby can be on the bright side. It's going to be interesting what their relationship is now, because we don't really know how Sarina felt, because she was always like, I love you, sensei, yada yada yada. But is that just more or less transferred love to her parents onto the sensei, or was there really more behind that? Because now this could be a little bit weird. I mean, the whole time it's like, oh, the Arcanic Aqua ship, and then the Kana and Aqua ship, and they are at odds with one another, the fans, and then you have in the background the Ruby shippers who's like, I don't know, a little bit weird. Let's hope we don't get any more sad scenes. I really don't like crying, even though this is probably the emotion that you get out of me the easiest. Me getting me sad, maybe depressed. It feels like I'm also very easy to anger or make mad. Not as easy to get me to laugh or be happy. So let's hope we don't do any of those. No more sadness, please. I just don't like stuffy nose. By the way, are we still in the night?
信じるからね、お兄ちゃん。
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Unisa-chan, whatever. Yeah, I trust you now. Definitely. Not the teacher. You definitely trust your brother.
あの日、あなたが推してた子は、ママよりもっと輝けるって。
Also, I feel like now, knowing that this is her sensei, first off, interesting that we have two of the Bikomachi members that started being idols because of, at least in part, because of Aqua, which is nice coincidence. Also, I feel like that now she's able to share her achievement with someone from her previous life, because this whole thing happened because she got terminally ill, fell in love with and idols, and now she can show, look, I'm an idol, my dream came true, bringing people smiles on their faces.
あと、あの言葉忘れてないからね。16歳にな。
No. That is what I meant. That is. How about we don't do that?
なったら結婚してくれるって言ったよね。先生、私。
That's cool and stuff. I'm going to bed, and I'm going to lock the door.
もう16歳になったよ。疲れた。
Are we going to just, I mean, wait. I assumed she was saying it to him, but I guess there's like these are windows, I guess, that lead to the balcony, and she's essentially in a room and he's outside, so he can't hear her, I guess. Because there's going to be a very weird fandom fight between Kana fans, Akane fans, and Ruby fans.
疲れた。お兄ちゃん、ジュースちょうだい。
やだよ、自分で買え。
Very clingy.
はい。
やだよ、自分で買え。
はい、もう遅い。もう飲んじゃってます。回復。
花。
This is going to be very weird. I mean, we are just going to assume they are brother and sister again. Nothing nefarious,
やめ
right?
ろよ、汗で湿っぽい。
もうちょっとだけ。
Memsho sweating. Imagine what she has to go through if this turns out to be some kind of love interest, because now she has to go decide between Kana, Akane, and Ruby.
何があったおおびっくりした。どうしたの急に大きな声出して。
びっくりしてるのはこっちよ。どうしたその距離感。ベッタベタすぎでしょうが。
ああ、ほら最近お兄ちゃんと私喧嘩気味だったで。
You know what? Meh. Fair enough. Wink.
ベッタベタ
Nice
すぎでしょう
thumbnail.
が。
ああ、ほら最近お兄ちゃんと私喧嘩気味だったでしょ。だけどこないだ仲直りして。
Girl, come on, you can't do that. By the way, a slipper, bunny slipper. Neat.
直りして今反動が来てる。
極端すぎるわ。うわー、もう悪魔よ。もう少し妹の
I mean, he did. What else do you want him to do?
言動をビシッと。
まあ好きなようにさせとけばよくない？
そうだった、こいつシスコンだった。
もともと仲良しだもん。
いい加減離れなさいよ。ちょっと待って。美男美女の双子カップってめっちゃ絵になる。一旦インスタ行きの写真撮らせて。この数字ジャンキーね。
I mean, she's not
無理無
wrong.
理、ドン引き。背徳感えぐいって。
I guess you never saw the comments on Oshinoko.
たはは。まあルビーはスケジュール詰め詰めで大変だし、本当は誰かに寄りかかりたかったんじゃないかな。
手のいい依存先ってわけね。身内のメンケアでどうにかなるうちはいいけど、スケジュールをどうにかしなきゃ根本解決にはならないでしょ。現にあの子はまだ芝居で詰まってるわけだし、稽古時間の確保は必須。ちょっと元気になったみたいだけど、気合だけで乗り切れるほど甘くなんてない。むしろ生半可にドーピングが効いてる今の状況の方が危ないとすら言えるわ。
Mental doping. Interesting way to put it.
無理して倒れたら元も子もないもの。
そうだね。でもルビーは間違いなく今が売り時。テレビ番組やイベントに加えてライブや映画のレッスンもこなさなきゃいけないわけだけど、
あと学業もね。学業、ああそうだ、あったねその概念。
Oh, right. I forgot. She's 26 or whatever. She totally forgot that these were school children.
遠い昔の話すぎて忘れてた。よくそれで今まで JK キャラやってこれたわね。
とにかくバランスが難しいよ。その辺は社長がうまくやってくれることを祈るしかないけど、いちごプロは愛で似た経験してきたとはいえ、それをさばいてたのは前の社長だしさ。宮子社長も今いろいろ問われてると思うよ。
はい、ありがたい限りです。
Yeah, moving stuff around is gonna be hard. Because you have all these commitments. You can't just say, we are done with any of the variety shows, because that is going to look bad on you.
ルビーの空きスケジュールを精査して改めてお返事させてください。
Also, I don't know if more acting training is going to help Ruby that much. Maybe it's better to go and check out other people's acting. Maybe she can then find something to go off. Maybe it's also because she's now on the light route again. Maybe now she doesn't have the emotional connection to push through. I don't know. But I feel like just more training is not going to help too much.
28時間テレビのチャ チャリティーリポーター、でかい仕事だわ。
So she just got an opportunity? I mean, this is going to be... This has to be hard. Just imagine you have a full schedule, you are preparing for this new movie that Ruby wants to take part in, that is non-negotiable, and now you get the chance for a huge opportunity that is potentially furthering your or her career. I feel like you have to take it, but how do you put it in the schedule? Again, because we don't know how the movie is going to turn out. It could be super good, it could be meh. So hatching all your eggs in one basket, not a good choice. That is why we have the variety shows going on. And if we have this, potentially more. Additionally, I feel like this would be good for the movie itself, because this would increase the stardom of Ruby, which means she slowly but surely gets to a spot where she is the person that pulls in all the viewers that they wanted as the head actress.
スケジュールは開けることができる。
How about less sleep? Do you need 5 hours? How about 3? How about 20-minute naps every couple hours? How about that?
けど、ルビーにこれ以上頑張らせるの？
I would ask Ruby.
仕事量の調整をしてください。彼女は僕の目から見ても実力が足りてない。
考えることは多い。
I guess this is earlier?
代理店の天童氏って人
Never mind, okay.
ルビーに極力近づけないでほしい。
何かあったの？
昔いろいろあった親族みたいな。ルビーが不安定になる可能性がある。
親族。まあ東京は狭いから時々そういうこともある
Is Tokyo small? I feel like it's pretty big.
わね。
But yeah, I mean, the reason doesn't really matter. If Aqua is saying, hey, it's better to not let those two meet, then fair enough. Even though she already saw them
わかった。
for her.
私の方からも注意しておくわ。
助かる。
And I also feel like that he is rarely asking her to do something. So that would also give her more reason to do what he wants or says.
映画の稽古時間を確保しないと。でも体調問題もある。年末にはカナの卒業。ビーコ町の抜けた穴をどうする？経営者としては無理を通すべき。でも母親としては。新陳代謝の早い芸能界ではタレントのブームの終わりはあっという間。多少有名になっても1年もあればあっという間に沈んでいく。間違いなく今の活躍次第でルビーの今後10年が決まる。ルビーがトップを取れる人間だって私が誰より信じてる。
ダンスちょっとずつだけど踊れるように
さあ、いよいよみんなの夢ドームだぞ。
This apartment does not have good memories. But it is nice to see at least some good parenting going on for Ruby. I mean, she does care. She is the one that took them in, that adopted them. Meanwhile, Ichigo just up and disappeared. And we should not forget, at the beginning, she was totally against these children. But slowly but surely, she came to love them and take them as their own, or her own. I don't know. I mean, maybe one way would be to get someone to help in the agency to plan stuff. I don't know if Ichigo would be possible, but it may be beneficial to have an outside viewpoint, not one of a parent.
Ichigo, あなたならどうしてた?
I mean, you know what he did after I got killed? He disappeared, so maybe get milk?
マスター、いつものちょうだい。
はいはい。肉野菜定食、ライス少なめね。
Meat and veggie set.
あとミックス野菜ジュース、ケール多めで。
Real clock.
酒を注文しなさいよ。うちは定食屋じゃないの。
It's 3 a.m. and someone is giving you food? I mean, drinks, okay.
だよ。
こんな深夜にちゃんとしたご飯出してくれるとこ他にないんだもの。
ちゃんとした生活しないと過労死するわよ。
Interesting. Because she's so occupied caring about Ruby that she does not seem to be taking care of herself.
抱えてるタレントが過労死するより100倍マシよ。
You know, both things are not good. Because if you're out of commission, who's going to take care of your talent?
子供たちはご飯ちゃんと食べてるの？今忙しいんでしょ。
その辺は。
I mean, you mean Mr. Homeboy? But isn't he only responsible for Ruby? What about Kana and Mamsho?
マネージャーがうまくやってる。
Or do they also have manager?
人任せね。ちゃんと子供の顔見ていつでも手を広げてないと大事なサインに気づけないものよ。
わかってるけど、あの子たちはいつも素顔を見せないのよ。
Fair enough. That is true. I mean, they do have stuff they can't really tell you, which is normal, I feel like, for most people, and specifically children. There are some things you can't or you don't want to tell. Additionally, Aqua is he's unwilling to share too much. Ruby, on the other hand, more willing to share. But again, there are some things she is unwilling to share, like her whole past life, which could be very hard to explain. So it is understandable. Maybe Ruby, now that she's on the light path again, maybe she's now more willing to share that, or things that she feels she needs to share.
息子はいつも仏頂面で、娘は人前ではいつもニコニコしてて、愚痴なんて一切こぼさない。心の奥底なんてわからないわよ。本当の母親じゃないんだから。
A real mother would not be able to tell, and as well, it's not the blood connection. It's the time you spend together. You spend a lot of time with these children. If you can't tell, the real mother would not be able to tell either.
私だって本当はいつもそばで見てたいわよ。本来私にこんな頭使う仕事向いてないの。マネージャーに戻れるなら戻りたいわよ。だけど私がいないとこの会社は頼れる人なんて誰も。
I mean, storytelling, someone comes in. It can only be one, right? Additionally, I feel like she could have gotten someone else to do that, to be the one that manages everything. However, that is then going to take control away from her, and she does want to be able to control what goes on with Ruby, especially Ruby. She cares a lot about Ruby. I don't know if that is what you do with a manager, because the manager is closer to the talent. Is whoever is, controlling all the schedule, is that person going to the manager and the manager then clears that, or do they just decide and the manager has to suck up? I don't know how exactly this is being done, because if you can't really go against the decisions as a manager, then you will lose a lot of control, which could hurt Ruby in the end.
Master, 久しぶり。
いちご。
Which is, I mean, it looks like he is coming here pretty often. So the master probably knows that both of each come here. Now maybe they don't know that these were together at some point. Because otherwise I feel like they would have said something. I also find it interesting that someone is out getting milk again.
待ちなさいマスター後で戻るから
はいはい、やっぱり東京は狭いわね。
I guess she didn't know.
待ってこの
Interesting.
やっと見つけた。
宮子、落ち着かず。
私が今までどんな気持ちで生きてきたと思ってるの。私との
Why do I feel like this is also going to be sad?
約束ほっぽり出して今まで何してたバカ野郎。
I was like, what is this? Is this her past?
初めて見た東京の光は上から下までキラキラで私の心を一瞬で奪っていった。
I only remember that in the past, for some reason they were together. I don't remember why, and she was like, oh, we are going to be famous and I'm gonna get like an attractive artist or whatever as the husband. So I do definitely wonder how they got here. Some kind of promise she was saying.
この街が
Oh. You did not, come on. I mean, you are young here.
私の生きる場所だと思った。夜の街は
Interesting.
まるでゲーム。雑魚敵
So hostess?
を倒して経験値とお金を貯めて
Already a little bit weird to see it that way, but
レベルア
whatever
ップ
floats
し
your
て
boat.
強い武器を買って
Was it? No. Okay.
バカみたいにお金を持ってる大人と話をする日々が普通になって大学の男はみんな子供に見えてきて
In college. So you were going to college while working as a hostess? So I assumed as a hostess you would be like 22, 25 or whatever. But if you went to college at the same time, I'm assuming you were younger now? Like 18, 19 maybe? Self-proclaimed, yeah. I'm also a self-proclaimed millionaire. Trust me.
強い敵を倒して経験値をたくさん稼いでさらにレベルを倒して経験値をたくさん稼いでさらにレベルアッ
Level up.
プして
Cabaret club girl to lounge girl. Don't know the difference.
転職して強
Mm-hmm.
くなる
Hostess. Okay. So cabaret, lounge, and then hostess. Okay.
東京の街は強い人間に優しいからそういう私を肯定
So how did it feels like you were in an environment that suited you or that you felt comfortable with? It seems like you did well. So I wonder how you came to manage an underground idol group.
してくれるこの街のルールの上で私は賢く立ち回れてて
Unspoken rules. Definitely feels like you broke some of those.
もっと上に行くんだって思ってて
Dynamite college girl. You were something of a, not maybe idol, but up and comer as well?
でもそれにもいつかは終わりが来る東京は可愛い子だらけで私は芸能人としてやっていけるほどの何かがなくて、タレントの肩書きで偉い人と関わる機会は増えたけどそれも長くはない大学を卒業したあたりで社長連中からパーティーに呼ばれる機会が減った
Ooh. Oh, okay, we see why she's not there anymore. Also, this is very telling. There's a whole island thing going on. And this also, it's like, oh, you're a college girl, yeah, come to all these parties. Oh, you're out of college, yeah. You're too old for these business owners. Which is so weird.
別にいいけどね
I feel like you cared a lot. This is why, as bad as it sounds, if you are in a position where you can make good money, make as much money as possible. You never know how long it lasts. Make sure you have a good, solid amount of capital that you can rely on if something goes wrong. Best would be, in my opinion, if you have enough money or invested or whatever to last you until the end of life, so you can do whatever you want. So you can still work at the job, but you don't need to take shit anymore at that point because, hey, you get fired, who cares? You have enough money, you try to find a new job, you try to find something else to do. That would be the optimal thing. Most people can't really do that. Most people are not in a position to even save some money. Not speaking of a lot of money, or not mentioning that. But if you are in a position where that is the case, just make as much money as possible. You are working in a company, you make, I don't know, 200-300 grand a year. Try to do overtime, unless you have a child and stuff, you know. But if you are free, try to make overtime, get extra money, get paid. try to get this little buffer up and running as quickly as possible. You never know what is going to happen in the future.
あいつらすぐ浮気するし、付き合っても幸せにはなれない。呼ばれなくなった港区の女は他の女を呼ぶ側になるしかこの町に残る方法はない。
Becoming an intermediary who summoned younger girls. What are you? A special item? Use Miyako and 3 young girls appear next round.
なくてみっともなくしがみついて。
And it does not seem like you are very comfortable with that.
愛人にならないかっていう人が増えた。自分の居場所を失いかけている女をあいつらは目ざとく嗅ぎつけて都合よく搾取しようとする。きらめく街に憧れた女を自分が飽きる時まで。
いっしゃよっ。
I mean, it is interesting how well she was able to see through everything. She's very smart, it seems like. I mean, I am assuming this is what she thought at the time, that there are these guys that just want to use her because they know or they believe she is easily convinced. And if she saw that at the time, that is, again, very smart to know exactly what is going on. You are not as much at risk of being taken advantage of if you know what is going on. Which, again, very smart of her.
お前さ、これからもずっと夜食でやっていくのか？やりたいことないならうちで働くか？
Work for what? What are we working at? For at
眩しいものに憧れた。芸能の世界でちっともうまくいかなかった私が。
It looks like the Apple logo.
人の夢を支援する仕事に就くなんて、なんたる皮肉と思った。
I mean, why not?
なんたる
And it seems, oh, this was the, I guess this was Ice Group?
皮肉と思った。けど、裏方から見る光は思いのほか悪くなくて。
宮子、これからも俺を支えてくれないか？俺は本気で仕事をする。お前が支えてくれるっていうなら、この世界で一番きらめく景色を見せてやる。
一番きらめく景色。
ああ、ここで歌えたら気持ちいいだろうな。
歌えたらじゃなくて歌うの。
でっかいな。でっかいね。本当に思ってんの？思ってるよ。
本当かな。
Is it a baseball field? I'm assuming this is Tokyo Dome, right?
いつかこのドームをサイリウムで染め上げる。
I didn't know it was a baseball field. Yeah. To be honest, I don't really know what I thought. I assumed there would be stuff going on here all the time. But it makes sense that it is a baseball field that then gets repurposed for some entertainment stuff. Okay.
みんなの夢だ。
見せてくれるって言ったのに勝手に諦めて勝手に逃げやがって私はまだ私は諦めてないのにみんなの夢って言ったくせに。この度いちごプロは大幅な配置換えを行います。その前に一応紹介しておくわね。バイトの斉藤いちごくんです。
斉藤です。
Errand boy,
まず大きな配置換えから発表します。
It's easy, errand boy. Little bit coincidental that he's now here and stuff changes.
手元の資料を確認。
Also, who do we have? Again, he's manager of Ruby.
マルチタレント部門は林。配信者部門のグループ A は笹野。
Okay.
B は寺林が担当。B 小町のメムと有馬の担当は
No Ruby?
吉住。そしてルビーとアクアのマネージャーは
お
私が担当します。あとは以前通りの配置ね。
そしたら誰が事務所の取りまとめを？
さあ、あそこのバイト君がどうにかするでしょう。
あの人って
社長の旦那、この会社作った人だよ。
I feel like a lot of people didn't know she was married. I guess I do wonder, did they work this out together, or was she like, you are taking over this is now your stuff. I'm done. I'm gonna be manager, and this is more or less her last job she did as the one that managed everything.
以上、さあ仕事仕事。
Now, I assume he's going to meet Aquana, because this is going to be quite the meeting.
イヤコさん
Oh,
と
Ruby.
話し合いできたみたいでよかったね。
Yeah, talking things out. I feel, I don't know. His face is saying otherwise.
この顔見てよくそんなこと言えたな。半分脅迫みたいなもんだぞ。
I mean, you had no choice. As soon as she was straddling you, you were done.
総長をちらつかせて
With good reason.
口答えしたら普通に殴ってきて。
でも戻ってきた。よかったね。本当は戻りたかったでしょ。社員でもないのに私の仕事たくさん取ってきてくれたじゃん。正式に戻った方が何かとやりやすいもんね。
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be a very good asset. He has all this connection, he has all the knowledge, all the experience. He's also a guy. As bad as it sounds, there are a lot of guys in the industry, and I feel like they would treat him different than Miyako. So that is also going on. Additionally, they can do meetings where a woman would maybe not be as welcome. Like they could go to a strip club, as example, or a hostess club, and it would be totally fine because it's guys. It's a whole guy group. Again, there are a lot of things that I feel like are now possible because he's here.
そんなんじゃねえ。俺ははめられたんだよ。
誰に？
You were set up. I mean, if you were set up, that can only be one guy. We know someone who's a master in laying traps.
アクアに決まってんだろ。
We need to talk about Ruby. Can you come to seminary at 2 a.m.? Yeah, I mean, what did you expect? If to succeed, we need you in our agency, then Aqua's going to get you into the agency if you want to or not.
俺を宮古の行きつけの店に呼んだのはあいつなんだよ。
So he was not even here, okay. So he just said master because they treat whoever is the owner as master. Okay, understandable. Now this would mean that Aqua knew she would be there in the night.
そしたら。
アクアが。
Yeah, you know, Aqua, the guy that is pretty smart. He knows what he needs to do. When you were on your revenge path, you did not really have an idea, no real plan.
そっか、そういうことか。全部わかった。やっぱりお兄ちゃんは。
What is this?
お兄ちゃんは私。
How did we come to this? I mean, not even talking about that she. How did you interpret this as him loving you too much? He set up someone to meet. He set up Ichigo to meet Miyako, so that he joins the organization again. How is that important to you? Is it the stuff of whatever he does is just because he loves you so much? He's just saying hello to Kana and it's like, oh, he loves me so much. That is why he said hello to Kana. Some bullshit?
私のためにイチゴさんを事務所に戻そうと。相変わらずやり方が回りくどくて可愛い。お医者さんの
This is going to be so weird.
時からそういうところあるんだよな。周りに相談せず勝手にサプライズ仕込んで。仕方ないよ。昔っからそうだったもんね。根がバカ優しいのに変に悪ぶる癖も私は理解してあげてるからね。
これはスケジュール詰めすぎだろう。
でもルビーは今が認知度を稼ぐチャンスでしょ。だから仕事が来なくなった時のため。
Now this is a little bit problematic because he wants. I don't even know. Does he? Does he know about the movie? Does he know about the script? I don't remember. But if he does, and he sees this as part of his revenge, there's like a conflict of interest going on because he is not going to have the preparation of the movie be negatively affected by anything else.
そしたら俺が仕事取ってくればいいだろう。焦って対局を見失うな。ブームが過ぎることをビビるな。そんないつかは絶対来るんだからよ。安心しろ。ルビーは一発屋なんかじゃねえ。そんでそうさせねえのが俺の仕事だ。
Is it? Now that you are back at least.
今やるべきことはルビーのプレミア感の演出。仕事振ってくるキャスティングサイドに対してのな。もっと向こうをじらしていい条件の仕事を引き出せ。できれば遠めのスケジュールの仕事を中心に取りに行け。何でもかんでも安く受けるな。画面に映っていれば認知されるわけじゃねえ。ルビーのキャラがよく出る構成の番組だけ受ければいい。愛の時もそうだった。
Such a big difference. I feel like she never. I mean, it was never the idea for her to take over his job. So they probably never had a conversation like this. where he is showcasing her what needs to be done. All the experience he built up through his life, he's able to showcase here. And she now, I assume, learned quite a bit of the stuff she potentially did wrong or she could have done better. And now she understands, okay, why he did stuff in a specific way.
この辺の仕事は全部断っていい。あと、もっと強気にバーターねじ込んでいけよ。有馬かなとか、バラエティ能力高いだろ。もっと事務所内に仕事巻いてけ。あと、事務所ももっとでかいところに越した方がいい。うちは大手だぞってはったり聞かせねえと。
私はダメ。
I definitely can see that. This is always whenever you feel like you are good at something and you see someone doing the same thing and they are just so much better and you are like, damn, I did not even consider this point or that or doing it this way.
最初からあなたが切り盛りしていたら、この事務所ももっと。
いや、十分すぎるだろうが。よそと堅実に丁寧に仕事を積み重ねて、どことも揉めることなく仕事を取って、コツコツタレント育てて。正直、今のイチゴプロはめちゃくちゃ業界内の評判いいぞ。
So please don't destroy it.
俺がやってたらこうはなってねえ。お前だからできたんだろ。
そんな見えすいた媚びでご機嫌取ろうと思っても無
It would have worked with me. Not gonna
だ
lie.
よ。それ終わったら流し場とトイレの掃除だから。
So I guess all the miscellaneous stuff he's doing is essentially not revenge, but him paying back.
そういうんじゃねえんだけどな。それと、あいつのことよく見てやれよ。
分かってる。ルビーは大変だけど私が。
違う。まずいのはアクアの方だ。あいつ、そろそろ壊れるぞ。いや、もしかしたらもう。
Interesting. Because the whole talk was about Ruby being close to breaking down. But he assumes Aqua is the one. Interesting.
なんだろう。何かが欠けている気がする。アクア君、本当にこれで君の復讐は果たされるの？
What do you mean? Does this really help you complete your revenge? So Akane is seeing stuff that no one else is seeing, I guess?
いよいよ
She does have a good idea about Aqua. So if she's saying something, I would tend to believe her about Aqua at least. And maybe I.
来週から映画15年の嘘の撮影に入ります。いちごプロ揃い踏みの大仕事よ。あさってに全体の本読みと衣装合わせ。4日後の早朝にヒット祈願。7日後に撮影開始。撮影終了は8月3週の予定。
Are we not in spring? Essentially? Maybe even winter still?
予備日で1週間取ってるわ。
ゆっくり休める予感。あはは。でも忘れちゃダメだよい。8月末はかなちゃんの卒業公演。予備日はそのレッスン日でもあるんだからさ。
ああ、それなんだがな。年末に B 小町のライブツアーを組んだ。有馬かなの卒業はそこ。
何それ。こっちもうお別れ気分作って。
So her graduation got delayed, which is, to be honest, it feels a little bit fucked up. I mean, understandable with all the stuff going on, but it's like, oh, I want to retire. I want to do other stuff. And it's like, yeah, you can next year. And then next year rolls around. Yeah, I'm ready to retire. You can do next year.
だけど
アニマには了承してもらってる。
まあ別にこのタイミングじゃなきゃダメってわけでもないし、いろいろみんな忙しい中で私の卒業公演のために時間作ってもらうのも忍びないし、どうしてもって言われたらノーと言えないでしょ。
本
Right, I forgot she's a pushover. Totally forgot.
当に使い勝手のいいタレントだな。
推しに弱すぎる。もっと自分を大事にしてほしいよ。
まあ予定通りにいかないのが予定ってやつだ。
What are you bringing? Are those outfits?
監督、どうしたの今日は。
大したようでもないんだがな。最終台本持ってきた。
Ooh. What was the script we got before? Was it? Did Akane read the final script or not? I believe we saw, yeah. I mean, she has her hands there. It doesn't look like the final script. Maybe something changed? Yeah, it was not.
わざわざすみません。
いえいえ、事務所近いんでね。郵送料ももったいないし。
40
I mean, to be honest, I understand that. It's like, oh, it costs 10, 15 bucks or 20. It's like,
代独身の厳しい財布事情が物悲しい。
Just because he's single, come on. He's living with his mom, I assume, still. He's great.
本当に私の名前あるよ。うまくできるかな。心配しなくても平気よ。かなちゃん、ずっと高校生の役を
Why do you have dead eyes?
演じてたんだし。
Oh, fuck's sake. You can't say that. Come on.
大丈夫でしょ。それとこれでは話が別だよ。
I, Ruby, Akami, Akane, Nino, Kana, Meimei, Memsho, Boy A, Aqua, Seijuro, Uehara, okay. Frill, we are still missing some people. Young Aqua, Young Ruby. Doctor and nurse, huh? Doctor is Meld. Wasn't Meld the guy that really sucked at the beginning as the actor, but got somewhat good?
役所の欄に空白があるわね。
ああ、本当だ。
ああ、そら。
Aqua, Ruby, just play Shadrin. Shouldn't worry, shouldn't be a problem, right? You did already play Shadrin once.
子供役だ。それだけずっと決まってなくてな。はあ、優秀な子役ってのは本当に見つけるのが難しい。
Interesting. This explains why Kana was such a big hit. But why wasn't Aqua? I feel like Aqua would have been a big hit as well as a child then. Oh, because of murder and stuff. Okay, yeah. Never mind.
全国各地のいろんな子供の演技見て回ってるんだが、いかん。
Look at her smug face. She's like,
シリアスな作品で喋らすととんでもなく浮くんだよ。長台詞もちゃんと馴染む子役は本当に希少なんだよな。
わかるわかる。
self-glazing.
だからちゃんとした作品にしたければ私レベルの子役がその時代にいなきゃなのよね。この時代には私みたいな子役いなくて大変でしょうね。
過去の栄光にすがってるな。
この後も子役探しだよ。
頑張ってー。なんだか覚悟決めたって顔だね。人を傷つけることに、そして傷つくことに。
Be careful of what you're saying.
お前暇なのか？ いつもいつも
Seemingly
人を
not.
イラつかせに来て。
正しい運命に導いてあげようとしてるんだよ。
運命ね。まるで神様だな。
さあ、君たちが神をどう定義してるか次第だと思うよ。
質問を変える。親はどうした？戸籍とかあるのか？
もちろん。この器は君たちと同じように母から産み落とされたもの。
So you stole the body? Or what? Or do you just take it over?
だよ。
Or is it just a copy?
やってみる？どこにでもある子供の体さ。
Suddenly I don't want to punch you as much anymore. I mean, you are not as antagonistic right now. Also, I wouldn't want to hurt someone else that has nothing to do with this. But the question is really, did you steal that body? Is it just a copy? Where's the real girl?
何？
お前さ、子役やってみない？
は？
What do you mean the beginning? I mean, okay, she could be small Ruby, but small Aqua? Open this when you are 15. Oh, damn. This is Ruby's, right?
さすがに私はその年でアイドルやってないと思う
Right, right. This is Ruby's. This is the one we saw in first season? Second? One of the two.
あ、その時は君たちがアイドルとかになってるかもね
Where she was like talking about her children and how she wants to see them grow up, and Aqua is going to be a handsome actor, right? And Ruby's going to be a cute idol.
私の子だし全然ある話だよね何にせよさ元気に育ってください母の願いとしてはそれだけだよはあちょっと緊張しちゃったやってみたかったんだよねこういうのあとあれだルビーへ大きくなったルビーに伝えたいことがあるんだ
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, 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 no. Nothing. What do you have to say? Can you say it? So this is Ruby's disc. Meaning, again, this is, as far as I know, or it feels very similar to the one we saw. Aqua's disc we have not seen still. Also, what did you want to tell Ruby? Man, is this the end of the season? How long do we have to wait until next season? I mean, it is as good a final episode as you can have it. We had this whole scene. Let's just skip to the non-sad stuff. Holy shit, this was so long. I don't like sad stuff. And this was very sad. But here we got those two back together. This could also be used as, you know, we can do a little bit of a quick. Those two together again. We got Ichigo back. We are more or less prepared. We seemingly have to start filming. Interesting that we did not see anything of the dad yet. I was assuming we would see something with him. She's crazy. Okay. She is totally gone. She doesn't see her brother anymore. She only sees Sensei, and the fandoms are going to be crazy around this one. But I do like that we get Ichigo back. Miyako is able to concentrate on the stuff she's really good at. And hopefully this goes well. But we have to wait so long. Overall, I mean, it was a fantastic season. Having a 1 hour final episode is insane. And it was a fitting ending to the season. I believe the next season is going to be the final. I would say that there's not that big of a hook for next season. Naturally, we have the whole movie. We have to film the movie. We have to see what is going to happen with that. Sure, but we don't have a massive hook at the end of the show that some series like to have. Like this one, more or less, her saying, "Hey, now that you're grown up, I have something to say to you," which is a small hook. But nothing massive like in episode 1, season 1, where you had this massive hook of what happened. So, other than that, I mean, this is not. Other than that, it was fantastic season. All the stuff we want from Oshinoko.